Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our EAFC 24 career mode. We're returning today off the back of our dramatic late win over Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League quarter-finals. We've got a big episode today as we'll play out our final 5 Serie A games of the season as we look to finish the campaign unbeaten as we did with the Blades back in season 6 of the save. And we'll also have our Coppa Italia Semi-Final second leg against Napoli as we look to get revenge over Napoli and make it to the final of the competition that they won last year. And the biggest of them all, we will have both legs of our Champions League semi-final that has pitted us against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City side as we look to reach the final for the third successive year. So lots to get through in today's episode. We are going to be focusing on those cup competitions, but we've still got a job to be done in the Serie A as well. And we kick off with a home fixture at the Allianz Stadium against Lecce as we look to keep our unbeaten season alive. Forza Juventus. So underway here at the Allianz, as we've done with the previous few episodes, we're going to keep the highlights of these final Serie A fixtures pretty short. Now, we have, of course, got the unbeaten season that is still alive, and we're still looking to keep that record going all the way until the end of the season as Plojek pulls it behind Vincenzo. So we have still got that to play for, but I'm feeling pretty confident that we're actually going to get the job done and finish the Serie A campaign without losing a fixture. Of course, we've still got Vlahovic going for the Golden Boot, a couple of other individual awards as well. So still lots to play for in the Serie A. And most importantly, we have to try and make sure we keep that unbeaten season alive. Forza Juventus. And now McKennie getting the start today. Look at the space for Vincenzo out wide. There should be 2-0 here. And Vincenzo does drill it in for Juventus's second of the game. Game time's been a little bit few and far between for Vincenzo, but he has popped up with a few goals this season. And this one here should ensure the victory for Juventus. One off Lecce here, trying to get themselves back into the game. That's a good ball in, and they have got a goal back. 2-1, and Houdini is on the score sheet for the away side. Game on. Well, there is the whistle in Turin, and we will hold on for all 3 points. It was a pretty poor game, to be honest with you. The damage done in the first half, and we held on despite the consolation from the away side to pick up all 3 points and ensure that we remain unbeaten with 4 Serie A games to go. Can we do it for the second time in this save? We did it with Sheffield United in Season 6, unbeaten in the Premier League. We're now 4 games away from repeating the feat with Juventus in the Serie A. And of course, not only is it the Serie A that we're unbeaten in, we're also going for the Bayer Leverkusen unbeaten treble. Obviously, they fell short in the Europa League final. We're looking to make it to the Champions League final. Before we get there, it's second leg time against Napoli in the Coppa Italia. Currently tied at 2-2. And as I mentioned earlier on, looking to make it to the final where we lost to Napoli last season. Big game this, and the tie massively still in the balance. Forza Juventus. So underway in Naples, and I'm not sure exactly what our record is against Napoli throughout our time in Italy, but they are one of the teams I feel like I've struggled against most throughout our time with Juventus. We generally have got the better of them in terms of results, but in terms of how we've played and who we've struggled against, I feel as if Napoli have caused us the most issues. You think back to last year in the Super Cup, we were a goal down and Adam Plojek rescued it late on. They obviously defeated us in the Coppa Italia last year. What a pass that is. Oh, and what a goal. And it's Napoli again who take the lead and give us an absolute mountain to climb. That pass through to Victor Osimhen was unbelievable. He did brilliantly to hold it up, laid it off to his mate, and it's a fantastic finish past Desplanches. And Napoli hit first again in the Coppa Italia Semi-Final. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Napoli, but we just always seem to struggle against these guys. Always cause me issues. We do quite often get the result against them, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to again today, but so far just no way through their back line. Could be a chance here. Bernardo into Dusan, gets his shot away, and it's well kept out at the near post. Better from Juventus. Follow-up corner will be swung in by Frenkie de Jong. It's a good ball looking for Dusan, and it is the main man, Dusan Vlahovic, our top scorer and our top man since we've been in Turin. Fantastic bit of business to bring him back from Arsenal, and he gets us back on level terms here in Naples. And both semi-final legs being played at the same time. Monza 1-up at the San Siro. I believe the first leg result, which I should have shown earlier, was 2-1 to Inter Milan. So that will now be levelled up at 2 apiece as well. So still lots to play for in the hunt for the Coppa Italia final. Who is going to blink first here in Naples? Back to Schlager now and Tomiyasu. I feel like our best chance is going to come on the break. Oh, and that could have gone anywhere. Off the head of Kvaratskhelia. Substitutions from both teams as Xavi Simons enters the field. Danger here. Simons, chance and goal. And that might be it for Juventus. And it might be Napoli who defeat us once again. Xavi Simons with the late goal. And that may be enough to send Napoli to the Coppa Italia final as they look to defend their crown. 7 minutes to save our season. Is there time? No, it's all over. Juventus lose for the first time this season. And it's Napoli doing it once again. Defeated us in the final of this competition last season. And they've dumped us out again. Xavi Simons off the bench. What a player this young lad is. In his prime at this stage of the save. But he's done it once again for Napoli. First loss of the campaign for Juventus. And the treble dreams are over. And as Inter Milan fought back against Monza to claim a 1-1 draw at the San Siro, that sent them through on aggregate by 3-2, meaning that it will be Inter against Napoli in the final, as Victor Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, Xavi Simons and co look to retain their Coppa Italia trophy. For us, it seems as if it's going to be the one that got away. Miles clear in the Serie A, and we've been the best team in Italy by a mile. But that's the beauty of cup football. Anything can happen. But we need to accept our fate and move on. We've got Genoa in the league on Saturday before travelling to the Etihad for the first leg of our Champions League semi-final against Manchester City. So we need to make sure we bounce back with another victory here. Forza Juventus. So it's over to the backup brigade for our next fixture as we travel to take on Genoa. And we must bounce back after that heartbreaking loss in the Coppa Italia semi-finals. And that's a perfect start, winning the ball back from kickoff. And Frenkie de Jong, who doesn't get many, opens the scoring. That might even be his first goal of the campaign. I think what we were really missing in that previous game was having an extra midfielder, a real anchor man. And we signed Onyedika in the summer for that role. And I think I maybe should have started him in that previous game. We missed having a real anchor man in there to break things up. And it left us quite exposed at the back. So, as Genoa head home the equaliser. No clean sheet for Costa today. But I think for that clash in midweek, and I was actually incorrect. The first leg is at home in Turin rather than away in Manchester at the Etihad. But regardless, I think I'm going to bring Rafael Onyedika into the team for that one, so he is rested tonight to keep him ready for Manchester City in the week. Chance for Julian to swing this free kick in. Looking for McKennie, looping header, and it's tipped over the top as the captain looking to get us back in front. Corners into him again, headed away. Will the ref allow us to play on? He does. Crosses in and Klojek heads home from on the goal line. Referee allowed us to continue. And Adam Klojek, one of few real starters out there tonight, given the nod and nods it in from practically a yard out. Couldn't miss. Klojek 2-1 Juve. Dallo nicks it back high up the pitch. And he's gone again. Dallo into Nilos. Surely this time there is the third. And that will seal it. 3-1 to Juventus. Points in the bag and the perfect response after our loss to Napoli in the Coppa Italia. And yep, Nilos' goal was enough to secure the victory for Juventus. 3-1 victory away in Genoa, and we may have lost our unbeaten season as Bayer Leverkusen did, but we do still remain unbeaten in the Serie A as we look to repeat the feat of Leverkusen, who did manage to go the whole league campaign without losing a single game. 3 more games to go, but we now turn our attention to that big Champions League semi-final against Manchester City. So it is the big one. It's the one you're all here for. Manchester City, first leg of the semi-final. I'm feeling a little bit nervous about this one with Guardiola's side coming to take us on in Turin. We'll be making sure to keep an eye on the other semi-final, which sees Sevilla taking on our former team Sheffield United, where it could be an almighty reunion in the Champions League final. Need to make sure we do our job first though, starting here in Turin. Forza Juventus. Parisi, who's high and wide on this left hand side. On Yedika, can't quite slide it through. That's where you miss the benefits of Frenkie de Jong, but we need that defensive stability in there today, and I'd say we probably need to win this first leg here to take to the Etihad as Kubo fires in the opening goal. The former Real Sociedad man from the edge of the box. I was torn between closing him down with an option to Erling Haaland inside, and we backed off and he let fly, and Costa couldn't get there, and Juventus, who haven't really got started today, find themselves a goal behind. Is our season going to fall apart right at the end? Well, second half underway here in Turin, and neither side really created too much or been on top, but it is Manchester City who lead thanks to that effort from Kubo on the half an hour mark. We have not got started, just a one shot which came from Gabriel Martinelli, but here we come. Bakayoko, and Matthews couldn't quite get it under his control. Kubo finds Haaland, now Rodrigo. Former Real Madrid man, it's a wicked ball. Lamadi gets something on it. Foden's effort is brilliant from the Englishman and turned away by Diogo Costa. Haaland round the corner. Foden, it's brilliant. It's Kubo, it's 2. And it might be good night to Juventus. Kubo doubles up. It's a lovely move between he and Phil Foden. And you can't say that Manchester City don't deserve that. Been by far the better team. Matthews, Dusan, Matthews, back to Dusan Vlahovic, kept out by Edison. It's a decent effort, but it's pretty comfortable for the experienced Brazilian. And Vlahovic, oh, it's not far away. Edison looked as if he may have it covered, but I tell you what, I think that was close from Dusan Vlahovic. We've not created enough. Manchester City have been comfortable, and they've got a 2-goal advantage to take back to the Etihad. And I think it might be all over for Juventus. Pep Guardiola masterclassing another UCL victory for Manchester City, and it is a long, long way back from here for Juventus. Kubo's 2 goals, 1 in either half, has got Manchester City 1 foot in the Champions League final. Got to put that loss behind us and return our focus to the Serie A. It's Bari up next, so a nice fixture sandwiched in between these clashes against Manchester City. Lots of changes to the team. Forza Juventus. Most ideal thing for us tonight would be a big 4-0 victory or something, as Nilos smashes it in off the upright and gets our first of the evening. We needed that. Juventus off and running, and yeah, a nice 4 or 5-0 victory, get the goals flowing is exactly what we need before that second leg. Just seen Gabriel Collins has gone down and stayed down. He might need to come off here. He does seem to have got back to his feet, but luckily not one of our main starters. That's why I did rest everyone, but that's going to drop for Bari. What a fantastic piece of defending by Carlo D'Angelo to keep the score at 1-0, but Gabriel Collins looks as if his race might be run for the season. Oh, big chance for Bari. Costa's not going to get there, and we're pegged back. That is so poor. I know it's the backup brigade out there tonight, but this should have been a comfortable 3 or 4-0 victory. Diomande steps out. It's a lovely little dink over Costa, but this is just not good enough. If we go to the Etihad and play like this, it's going to be over before it even started. Everything just seems to be going against us at the moment. Nothing going our way. Can that change here? Lorenzo into Vincenzo. Tight angle, but he does drill it home. He's been a tidy little source of goals in the backup squad. And Vincenzo restores our lead, but still not happy with the level of performance tonight. We have not been good enough. Dybala looks for Giuseppe. Nice skill from Ambrosini. Looking to go all the way. Giuseppe Ambrosini off the bench. Makes it 3-1. Slightly better from Juventus, but the scoreline probably flatters us a little bit. We have not been very good tonight. Well, there is the whistle, and it is another victory. 2 games left to play in the Serie A, and they are quite difficult fixtures against Napoli and Milan, so it'll be difficult to close out the season and remain unbeaten with those fixtures, especially with our pretty average run of form. We do get another win in the Serie A, but as I said, it wasn't a particularly convincing performance. The scoreline maybe not quite reflective on the game, but we do get the job done. And now it's time for that trip to Manchester. So time for our second leg and a trip back to England as we take on Manchester City. As you can see below us, Sheffield United are into the Champions League final. Haven't been there since I won it with them in Season 6. And if we can turn this around, it will be an almighty reunion. I'll be absolutely gutted if we miss out on playing them in a Champions League final. But we have a monumental task ahead of us. Forza Juventus. So Erling Haaland gets us underway here in Manchester at the Etihad Stadium. We know our job, we know the task ahead of us as we look to come back from this 2-0 deficit from the first leg in Turin. An absolute mountain to climb and a monumental task, but at 2-0 the tie is not yet done, and there could be an early chance here as Dusan Vlahovic, what a start! Dusan halves the deficit, and it's taken just 7 minutes. First attack of the game, and Dusan Vlahovic on his weaker right foot drills past Ederson to get Juventus back in the tie. Back to Kabore, who runs into Jules Koundé, who does brilliantly to get it down the line to Martinelli. And that's brilliant from the Brazilian. And we've got bodies over, and it's Gabriel Martinelli! The former gunner, who had so many titles taken away from him by Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. Back on English soil tonight, and back on the score sheet for Juventus. Foden, danger, Kubo, Haaland onto his left peg. Fantastic effort, and kept out by Diogo Costa. That should be his ball as well. Punches clear, and it'll be another City corner. And Foden strikes, and Costa saw it late and had to get low down to his right-hand side. Johan again, and look at the run of Lamadi. And flicked away, but Dusan gets there, hits it. It's a fantastic effort. Good spell of pressure this for Juventus. Martinelli does well. Dusan! Oh, it's found its way in! Where on earth is Ederson heading? And Dusan has his second. And it's a huge mistake by long-serving goalkeeper Ederson. Floated to the back post by the Brazilian Martinelli. Headed back across goal, and Ederson caught in no man's land. Can't get across to it. Dusan has 2. Juve have 3. And a clean sheet will see us into the Champions League final. And now we're able to just slow the game down. But we want another. And Dusan's in for his hat-trick. But he sees Martinelli at the back stick. Martinelli! May have just sent Juve to the Champions League final. What a turnaround from Juventus. And this is up there with Liverpool against Barcelona, Roma against Barcelona, and all the other fantastic Champions League comebacks. It's unselfish from Dusan, who could have gone alone, spots Martinelli, and what a header from the Brazilian for his second of the game, past the dive of Ederson. And City now need 2. Corner swung in, and Haaland heads home. And it's 4-3, but with 15 seconds to play. There is the whistle, and Juventus are heading to back-to-back Champions League finals. And we will be taking on our former team, Sheffield United. What a turnaround from Juventus. There was late drama in Paris in the Champions League quarter-finals. And just a crazy second leg here in Manchester in the semis. Dusan Vlahovic led the line and scored 2. Martinelli with 2 himself. And Juventus win an absolute cracker by 4-3 on aggregate. Well, there it is, confirmation that we will take on our former team, Sheffield United, in the final of the competition. Mad that it's going to be against Sheffield United. I cannot believe that. What a way to close out the season. We've got Napoli and Milan, which we'll finish up with today, before that Champions League final at the beginning of June. Man, I cannot believe that. I think it was the 10-11 season. Juventus won the league without losing a single game, and we're looking to repeat it, what would be 20 years on in the save. Napoli and Milan, let's see if we can remain unbeaten. Forza Juventus. Dusan again, using the run of Matthews as a decoy, and if McKennie makes the move here, McKennie into Matthews, it's a fantastic strike, and Juventus strike first against a team who have caused us issues in this save, especially in the Coppa Italia, the trophy that just keeps getting away from us. But Harry Matthews says, you're not taking away our unbeaten league record either. We're keeping that one, lads, as he drills in the opening goal. But that's given away. Bernardo, Martinelli, and Vlahovic slams it in for 2. Poor giveaway from Napoli, and that should be all 3 points in the bag for Juve. Revenge for dumping us out of the Coppa Italia. Doesn't quite feel as sweet as a win there would have done, but it is a return to victory on this ground as Dusan smashes in, I think, his 23rd league goal of the season to wrap up the points. Well, it's all over in Naples, and Juventus do get the job done. 1 out of 2 done, and it just leaves AC Milan, our final game of the season, as we look to go all 38 games without losing. We've only drawn 4 games, which is absolutely unbelievable. Milan up next to close out the Serie A campaign. Can we remain undefeated? Forza Juventus. So it is Milan at home at the Allianz as we look to complete the unbeaten season. Usually I'd make plenty of changes and give players a send-off, but with this much at stake I've gone pretty much full strength. We've also got Dusan Vlahovic going for the Golden Boot and Adam Plojek for the assist title as well. So both of them hopefully looking to extend on their leads. Forza Juventus, let's get the job done. Final league game of the season. Ooh, poor tackle that early on. Wonder if the referee's going to pull out a red card here. It's a really poor tackle, and it is red. Well, we saw a red card in that Champions League semi-final. It's really late from Anthony. It's a terrible tackle. I'm actually going to put Plojek on the corner as I need him to get an assist. It is swung in. It's deep. It's Jules Koundé. Oh, what a header. And it's another big goal from our French centre-half. There's our assist for Adam Plojek. Plojek. Parisi out wide left. Would love to get Dusan a goal or two. Instead, it's into Bakayoko. And he saved his best until last. Where's that been all season, Johan? Because we haven't seen enough of that. Fantastic cross by Parisi. All the way to Johan. And with the acrobatic bicycle kick, doubles our lead. And surely that will be Juventus finishing the season with 0 losses in the Serie A. And that will do it. No goal for Dusan on the final day, but with the season wrapped up, a win on the final day means that we will go unbeaten for the entirety of our 38-game Serie A campaign. It's the passing of the torch on the final day. We already knew we'd won the title, but last year's winners, AC Milan, beaten by this year's winners, Juventus. And we've still got a Champions League final to come. Unbeaten for the 2nd time in the save. Alright then guys, that is where we are going to leave it for today's episode. And that is the end of our 2nd season with Juventus. 38 games played, 34 wins, 4 draws, and of course 0 losses. Undefeated in the league. 88 goals scored, 18 conceded, and 106 points on the board. A record-breaking season for Juventus. And of course, we've got that Champions League final against our former club, Sheffield United, to come. I'm absolutely buzzing for that. Of course, it will be in the next episode where we'll do a full season roundup. And actually, just before we close out today, I want to have a look at the player stats for the Champions League, for the Serie A, where Dusan Vlahovic did win the Golden Boot. He was tied with Adam from Inter Milan, but he did it in less games. And Adam Plojek did just nip Alexander Isak to the assist title as well. Costa miles out ahead with 22 clean sheets in 38 matches. So Juventus players topping all across the charts. As I say, we'll go through a full season roundup next time where we'll have the Champions League final. Oh, look at that, it's at Wembley. So we'll be returning to England, the home of football, Wembley Stadium, to take on Sheffield United. And you know what, guys, there's every chance that could be the end of the series as a whole as well, because what a way to go full loop and end the series. We'll see what happens next episode. You don't want to miss it, guys. I'll catch you for it very soon, and peace.